I'm sure more people will come in over the time. So, welcome everybody to the 6th Dingos Podcast. Today, we're doing an AMA with Defimons. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Ghosty, go ahead now.
Okay, yeah, sure. First of all, thank you for having me here. And this is the first AMA that I'm doing. I haven't done any AMAs before, and I haven't spoken in front of a audience before. So, introducing myself, I am Ghosty. I have been a full stack web developer for I think about 7 years now. I have worked with multiple MNCs. In my last job, I was working with T-Mobile, and I've also worked with multiple startups. I used to do freelancing before this, and currently we are building Defimons. We also have multiple projects after this lined up. Like we plan to reuse these NFTs for multiple games, but currently the focus is mainly on Defimons. And Defimons, as you can guess from the name, it's based upon Pokemon, but we are introducing a lot of different aspects from different games, such as Fallout Shelter or maybe Demon Souls, etc. So yeah, that's it.
Interesting. It's always nice to hear about the backgrounds of different developers and different project leads. So I've never heard of this, and I didn't know that was the plan of Defimons, is to have the NFTs to be used in different projects, and I think that's really interesting and really cool. I don't think anyone has really thought of doing that or done that yet in this space. I think you guys have done AMAs before in terms of written AMAs, right? But this is your first voice?
No, we haven't done any AMAs before.
No? Okay, I see. Well, I'm glad that you this space is available to you. I think we don't have too large of an audience yet, so it's I'd say it's still a pretty homey and comfy place. So feel free, and you don't have to be nervous or anything. I think everyone here is welcoming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Dingos is one of the few Harmony projects that has a special place in my heart, and that's why we talk to you about a partnership and an integration, airdropping outputs to Dingo's owners. That's one of the main reasons why we did that.
Exactly. I think relationships in this space is especially important. And not a lot of people are aiming for that. No matter how big or how small, I think it's good to give a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, maybe some people here have not heard of Defimons. What would you say Defimons is?
Okay, so if I had to explain Defimons, overall, if I tried explaining Defimons, we are covering a lot of things. But in short, it's a metaverse kind of thing. It's and not an exact metaverse, but you live in a world where you capture monsters, you interact with other players. You can move around the map and interact with another player and challenge them for a battle. It's similar to Pokemon, how you capture monsters, how you go into the wild and capture monsters. Then, on the other hand, you have apartments within the game. So a lot of things. Essentially, we are taking ideas from multiple games. Defimons is a top-down style, 2D pixelated world where you can interact with people, you can build communities, you can own buildings within the game, you can own apartments within the game, you can own monsters within the game, which are tradable on the marketplace. You can craft different things within the game, and a lot of different aspects that are in place. And we hope that it becomes in a one of a lifetime experience for the players, because that's what we are targeting for the game. We are not targeting it to be a play and earn game. We are not targeting it to be something players that everyone targets to make money off that project, but everyone wants to experience that project.
I again share the same sentiment in that, the game has to be something, fun and keeps the player coming. It's not only about making money. It's not only about, finding the next moonshot. It's about having a fun and enjoyable game. It's using GameFi for what it is supposed to be, integration with the blockchain and not just, a quick way to flip money or something like that.
Yeah, that's something I feel a lot of projects miss. Trying to force the blockchain technology where it shouldn't be placed. You can use the blockchain technology because it's a great technology. You can provide ownership to players. You can provide decentralization, and a lot of projects try to push forward this narrative over their project, and it hinders the quality of the gameplay. It hinders the experience that the player itself has, and you just end up with a game where you are just clicking here and there, and that's it.
But I think the main development still should be what is this game, and then how can we integrate blockchain with it, and not how can I make something that's blockchain oriented and add a game onto it. If you know what I mean, like the focus should be the game and not the blockchain aspects, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think that also really answers the question that I was going to ask next about your vision, so we can skip that. I'd like to ask about your team size. Like currently, on our side, we have around 15 people in our team. What about you guys?
Currently, we have about 7 pixel artists, 1 concept artist, 2 game developers, uh, I think 3 backend developers, 2 front end developers, 1 story writer. We are hiring 2 more story writers probably this week or next week. And we are also onboarding another game economy designer who has worked on multiple blockchain based projects, successful ones. And so yeah, that's kind of the team. But I am targeting to expand the team to at least 35-40, because this project and the next game that we build will take a lot of effort, and we want to build quality. Currently we are just focusing on building the basic frameworks of the game, having the dialogue system ready, having the battle system ready, having the apartments designer ready. And once all of this is done, then we improve the graphics, we improve the basic map design, the character outfits. All our NFTs will be upgradable, so we will update them with newer graphics, newer animations, and everything. But yeah, that's kind of the team size currently.
Yeah, expansion is always very important, I'd say. For sure, when I started, I didn't expect the workload and didn't expect, because I've never done anything like this. I'd say this is my first experience with, running a project this big and, wanting to develop a game and things like that. And it's really, to me at least, it's a really nice and fun, I'd say, learning experience compared to the other things that I've experienced in life.
Yeah, same. Benelohim wants to join in.
Yeah, sure. Do you care about that, or do you not mind?
He can join. Yeah.
Hello, Benelohim. How are you?
I'm fine. I just wanted to come in and say hi and tell everyone that I'm both in these projects. Yeah, for each side, I'm +1. So I just want to come in and maybe talk about for both sides time to time, because my experience is that it's been 6-7 years now in gaming, and in all these years, both Dingos and Defimons have been some of the places that I've been very. I was allowed to be very creative, and no one really cared that I was creative, and people actually didn't mind. So I just want to come in and maybe talk from my point of view time to time. So hi everyone.
Yeah, feel free to pitch in anything when anything comes up that's related to your expertise and stuff like that. So if you don't mind, I'll start with the community questions that were gathered from AMA questions. The first question that was asked in the AMA questions is here. How will the team ensure that the economy in the game is stable?
So mainly focusing on the economy side. If we talk about play to earn games, personally, I feel play to earn is a gimmick. You are trying to say that everyone has an equal chance of earning, which you can't really build value out of nothing. You transfer the value between the players, and at the end of the day, the player who is a better player has a chance of winning more money, has a chance of winning more NFTs in terms of ownership, and that's how we are trying to maintain the game. So it's not a play to earn game. It's a play and earn game. You earn after you are done enjoying. You are done experiencing the whole interface of the game, battling with others. If you are a good player, then you for sure you'll earn a lot. If you are a bad player, you have chances of losing out. And so at some places, it's a game of chance. At some places, it's a game of skills. And we have a lot of systems in place that we are trying to build. So as you can read about our latest Medium article, which involves something similar to how Demon Souls had for World Tendency. These kind of things will affect our world, our game a lot in terms of game economy, because a lot of things for each player will change in terms of missions, in terms of how much transaction fees they are paying, how much fees in the marketplace they are paying, etc. And this is how we revolve all the profits around via different missions. So players have to complete different story missions. They have to complete different uh, weekly missions. So there are two types of missions, and through weekly missions, we maintain the economy in terms of burning NFTs, in terms of giving users rewards for interacting with the game.
God, that's a really comprehensive answer. Um, I think being Benelohim, you should be able to chip in more as well, right? Because I think you're responsible for the economy as well. So if you'd like to say something, go ahead.
Yeah, like Ghosty said, if you're good at the game, you have a chance to earn. Like also agreeing on Ghosty, where like you can't create value out of nothing. For sustainable economy to like work, there has to be losers and there has to be winners. Like that's something you have to do. You just can't give out everyone free stuff and expect your project to go on in a healthy manner, and like that will create bad experiences for everyone. But what Ghosty has like came up with is that like if you're good, you will win. You may earn, but like that's just a possibility. You don't have to be earning, and if you're not earning, that's not some. It's not because you're doing something bad. You're just at a different part of the game. You're doing something different, and that will perhaps, I don't want to give spoilers or ruin anything because lots of things are in development. Ghosty will probably tell you there are a lot of things going on, right? So, like I said, lots of things are in work in progress. But if you're good, you may earn. If you're not good, you may still earn time to time, but game will heavily reward players that are diving deep into its mechanics, into its like actual numbers, actual theories, and I think that's awesome that we are giving players that as well, because like being able to master at something is not something which is everyone can do, and this is something that can create value, actual value, and like we actually just wanted to focus on doing it not in a more like top down where first people entering the game winning and latecomers are losing. That was not something we wanted to do. So making the game intricate, making the game complex was the way to go, and I think it's working pretty well, and it's what I have in mind for Dingos as well.
Yeah, I'd like to add on to that. So, uh, talking about like different games that already exist, like outside the blockchain world, you can see a lot of players making money off of those games. Those players are able to make money because they won a match, they won something, and someone else lost their assets, someone else lost matches against these players, and that's how the transfer of value went through. And similarly, how Defimons will work in a similar way. So there will be player versus player matches. There will be player versus enemy matches, and you can extract value from the system. You can extract value from other players based upon your skills. At the end of the day, your skills matter, and it doesn't matter when you join the game. It doesn't matter how you are playing. It's your own way of playing, and you can play as you want. You can capture as many monsters as you want. You can have some favorite type of monsters, and each monster, there's nothing like some monster will always be stronger than all the other monsters. Each of them have weaknesses, each of them have strengths, and it does at the end of the day, all that matters is how you play, and how you are able to extract value from the system.
Exactly. I think instead of rewarding the biggest whale, we should be rewarding the biggest player. You know what I mean? Like, you should be awarding the people who spend most time in your game. They grind for the best gear, or they grind for the best Defimon, or and stuff like that. So you should be, the pay to earn mechanic should be awarded to those that who are loyal to the project, and not just anyone, just big bags or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll move on to the next question. This is specifically for Ghosty. How long have you been in the NFT crypto space, and what made you jump into NFT game?
So I think I started last year. I think mid of Feb. I personally I was interested in Harmony because of sharding. I did a white paper. I did a paper in college on sharding for my capstone project, and that's how I got interested into Harmony. I wanted to see how they are implementing sharding in terms of blockchain technology, and that's why I got into Harmony, and then I tried getting involved in different projects. I was probably I think I invested in Viper Swap on the second day, and also invested in DeFi Kingdoms probably in the first week. So I was always looking for newer projects, looking at how they are trying to improve the space in Harmony, because uh, exactly 1 year before last year, the same date, this chain didn't have that many projects. This chain didn't have that much traction, but a lot of things have changed since then.
100% agree with that. I was here probably around May, June, and there was really no projects here. The things that launched then was like just rugs and rugs and rugs. I mean, you still get them now, but yeah, it was very empty then. But now it's a really nice space with a lot of upcoming projects and projects that have already been established as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like a lot of GameFi projects and a lot of interesting projects, to be honest.
I just wanted to reiterate that question. Those questions were from One Mustard Grain. Moving on to the next question. by Johnny Dizzo. Aside from the jumpsuit, what other collaborations will we have in the future? Here he gives examples of resource, NFTs, tokens. I'd say it'd probably be difficult for tokens, but NFTs and probably a collaborative resource is something that we might be able to do. However, I don't think we have anything specific in mind yet, unless you have an idea, Ghosty.
So is this specific to Defimons and Dingos, or in general, like other integrations that we might have with other projects as well? Because like
I think it's for
we
Dingos.
okay. So for Dingos, currently it's just the jumpsuit, but we will have our own apartment builder. So probably like in the near future, we might integrate Dingos NFTs into the apartment builder, where you can showcase your uh, Dingo's picture as a portrait that is hung in your apartment building. You can invite your friends within, and you can showcase your apartment. Later on, we will add music systems within the apartments and everything, and you'll be able to party around within your simple apartment with your friends.
Mhm.
Yeah, we also wrote a line for one of the NPCs that relates to Dingos. But yeah, like everything, things are work in progress. So that's
In terms of the dingo sides, I've talked about with only Ghosty, but yeah, we're gonna have transportation in dingoes, and let's say late game, sure, you'd have your cars, you'd have your Lambos, and you have all that, but in the early games, because the prominent transportation in Defimons is the skateboard, why not have a skateboard based on Defimons? I think it'd be really cool to have a print of your favorite Defimon on your skateboard that you can ride around in Dingos.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely, that would be cool.
So I think this question comes up a lot, and it's come up here a bit like 3 times. But by Tasca, is there any concern in regard to the concept art and style used in the game in relation to Pokemon? He said that he saw a cease to continue from Magic the Gathering aimed at a different project.
Oh no.
So talking about like concept art and style. Uh, if you look at Pokemon is kind of a PG game. It's made for children, and with our game, our storyline, we are trying to follow a really dark storyline. If you are, not that involved in the game, you will assume that it's a simple world, everyone is nice and everything. But if you dive deep into the game and you dive deep into the storyline, it just gets darker. And also in terms of the art and the style, so the art wise we are going towards one type of Pokemon games that is uh, let me just remember the name. So yeah, we are going towards Fire Red and Leaf Green games, like a similar style but not the exact copy. We are You can look at different games that have used this similar style in terms of I always use this example of this mobile game called Pocket Mortys, where you capture different Mortys and you fight them against other Mortys. It's based on Rick and Morty, and that's at the end of the day, if we look at you know differences and similarities between Defimons and Pokemon. Pokemon, the cease and desist, these kind of things only happen if you use the exact same names, you use the exact same entities. And with our project, we are totally going away from that idea. We are building our own storyline. We are building our own assets. We are building our own monsters. Our monsters are mainly based upon like real world animals, which transform into mythical monsters that are based on mythical stories spread around the world. So that's something how players can also feel more attracted towards the game, because they might find a mythical monster that is based on a storyline that is started from their area. So that's how we are trying to differentiate our project from Pokemon, but also like keep the original vibe of what Pokemon had. We are building our own assets, we are building our own storyline, we are building a whole new world.
Great answer. And I think, yeah, as Tasca said, it's a very sensitive question, and it's a question that gets asked a lot. And I think people just need that reassurance from the main team about how that's going to be dealt with, and how you guys are going to be separating yourselves away from that, very, I'd say, robust law.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you look at Pokemon, I think when we are designing our own monsters, there's something that the issue that we face is that Pokemon has covered a lot of things. Like they built around, I think, about 12 games till now, and all their monsters cover a lot of things in terms of design. And when we are trying to build something different, we are trying to make sure that each and every monster has its own personality. It's not copied from any of the monsters that are present in Pokemon. And in terms of characters as well, we are Benelohim knows this a lot. So like we are building different personalities for each character, and each character's personality will also change on the basis of your progress within the game.
I see. A question by both Frenchie and Kevin, because I think both of you basically is saying the same thing. How is morality going to be balanced to ensure just by playing the game you will not naturally fall to good or evil? And by Kevin, are there benefits to chasing after both ends of the morality, or is it generally preferred to be good?
So first, answering Kevin's question, there are benefits to both sides. There are benefits and there are drawbacks, and it's up to you how you choose to play. As I've already mentioned, like everything depends upon how you play the game, and everything depends upon how good you are at understanding the game mechanics and how good you are at understanding the storyline, because some actions might have impacts that you might not guess. And this is similar to how popular games like Mass Effect work. So like you might do some action within the game, you might choose one option and that might lead to the death of one specific species within Mass Effect. And this is something that you did not decide upon, but you indirectly chose that option. And it will be similar in Defimons. And at the end of the day, Mass Effect has a linear storyline. You have an ending, you have a beginning, and similarly, we'll do the same for Defimons. You'll have an ending, you have a beginning, but with in the path of from beginning to ending, you make a lot of decisions, and these decisions affect your gameplay, affect your monsters. Your monster, one of your monsters might mutate into one kind if you are good, and it might mutate to another kind if you are evil. And morality is going to be balanced through different interactions. And we have so like if you choose one option, it does not change your morality directly. Your morality changes over multiple decisions. You have to specifically choose specific options. After that, the game sees that, hey, this player is moving towards this side, so I think the morality meter should move from one number above or one number below.
To also add, we have this is work in progress, so not confirmed. But we have monsters that are kind of like mascots of good and evil factions, and that's the difference too. Like they kind of represent each other, and I don't know. I was planning to have like this sort of events for different, like this will be 2 different monsters basically. And like Ghosty said, you can do anything. You with Defimons, you're just playing the game, and you get different stats based on what you do. And the concern is that you are playing the game, like you are enjoying the game. You're playing the game how you want it to play. So yeah, there won't be one side that is better or worse. It's just gonna be sides, and I don't know. I think it will definitely be kind of funny and entertaining.
Definitely a very interesting take. I think we're doing something very similar as well within Dingos in the karma system with morality. I guess if you're doing the good actions and the bad actions, and that affects you differently. So that's a very, I'd say, in terms of that, it would be really interesting to see how both of us innovate and how we change the way we, the audience sees morality. Question by Sansa is: how will you aim to attract users away from the existing plethora of pixel games on Harmony, including DFK and Dufira?
If we talk about like DFK and Defira especially, they both currently are not games. They are gamified dexes, and we took so like DFK and Defira started from building out a dex, and then they are moving towards a game. Whereas in our case, we are starting opposite. We are building the game, then we are building the dex. And we are also like other projects might promise you uh, you know storylines, cartoons, or building out a whole IP around the whole project. We are already working on these things. We are working on short story videos. You will see one soon. I think it should be ready probably next month. So like you follow a storyline within that is happening according to what is happening within the game world, and all these things will go side by side. And in terms of like attracting users away from existing projects like DFK and Defira, you know at the end of the day, it's these are different things. DFK and Defira are different projects, and our project is a totally different project from theirs. We are more interactive. The player has to be an active participant. There will be some passive, interactions within the game, but overall, our project is more active. And once players, see how our project has more interactions, it's kind of a ecosystem. It's kind of a metaverse kind of thing. I think we'll be able to easily attract more people towards our project, and that's kind of the target.
That's a really great answer. I think a lot of people see, okay, there's this one big project in the space, or there's a few big projects in the space. How can I attract viewers from there, or how can I attract an audience from there? And I think one great distinction that you made out was that you guys are completely different projects, and so you guys will be tapping into different audiences. And I think I share the same sentiment in the sense that I'll let the project speak for itself. So I think if it's great enough, I think it will spread out greatly from word of mouth, and we don't really need to, like, I'd say, poach audiences from here and there. Why not make a collaborative space where both can exist or coexist in one spot at one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I think we can move on to the next questions. This question is from Caririum. Are there plans to expand to other chains in the future? And if so, would this mean a new world with new people, items, creatures, story?
Currently, like I can't really share much about the expansion plans because we are going under a lot of changes on the back. But yeah, we plan to introduce like different worlds. We plan to introduce. So you have mainly seen Pokemon in a Japanese style world. Feel be ready to see it in an apocalyptic world. Be ready to see it in a desert style world. Be ready to see it in a modern world based in American societies. we already have these kind of plans. I have a small portion of the team, the artists working on the assets for these places, and we will have some snapshots, some early teasers from these areas ready soon.
I think I share a lot of people's same experience, and we're very curious and very excited to see what's coming next. I think, like when you brought up, the next game, I'm not sure if you're ready to talk about it, but I am. I have the question in my head: what is the next thing? If you'd like to share, or if you can share, would you like to share now?
Currently, I cannot share, but because those aren't fully developed projects, those aren't fully developed ideas. I have I think about 7 or 8 just sample projects that are already ready and built on my laptop. One of them is similar to Clash Royale. We can do that, but I would share that project, but it's currently just rectangles fighting with each other. I didn't add any assets to it. And similarly, like all those projects that I have in my laptop, I can't really share the full-fledged ideas because they aren't full-fledged projects. And we do not want to stick to anything until we are sure that we are building it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you can't share, then that's all right. I won't. I won't bug you for it. But I'll be really excited for that and to see what's coming up. I think, when you said Clash Royale, that's a game that I used to play quite a bit, and so I'm really excited to see how it goes. A question by Vox1 is: how many monsters minimum to play PvP? Can we breed them in the later stages of the game?
No.
These are so like breeding is a big no. You do not want to breed a cat with a crow or something like that. Uh,
No, please no.
And regarding the numbers, so this is something that we haven't decided yet because PvP will take a lot of time, and we can build out the system right now, but that a lot of things depend upon how our economy works at that moment, and that's how we will decide the numbers. And because we want to be sure that we do not push some specific numbers too far apart. So if we increase the minimum requirement a lot, then a lot of monsters will be maintained because players will need monsters, and that might cause the overall price to fall down, etc. So that's something we have to keep in mind, and these numbers aren't decided yet. We will reveal them once we are ready with player versus player.
Yeah, exactly. I think having a concrete, vision or like concrete timeline of how you want to do things is also very important, and you just don't want to rush things, or you don't want to say anything that might give the wrong impression. When you said you didn't want to cross like a cat and a crow, can you cross a cat and a cat?
No, you
No.
cannot.
Okay. I was just
So
wondering.
it's just the behavior of the game. As game comes out, I think everyone will see, and these breeding questions will stop. Not that I am bothered, but it's just that a lot of people ask it. It will not make sense to people. So yeah, probably
Yeah.
not gonna be very efficient to do that.
Next question by Major Tom is: what are the precautionary measures to manage or prevent the oversupply of common monsters?
This could be a really long answer. This could be a really short answer. So we are focusing on different kinds of gameplay within our project. One is active, one is passive, or I should say idle type of games. And you can use your monster NFTs for both sides. So if this is mainly based upon a popular game called Fallout Shelter, and you send out your monsters. So first type is idle type. You send out your monsters into the wild. It's similar to how DFK did the Perilous Journey. there's a chance for your monster to not come back, so that the NFT gets burnt. There's a chance for your monster to come back with rare items or with common items. And we are introducing crafting, so you'll be able to craft those different materials and build out something even special that you can use on your monsters, etc. And then we have our main style of gameplay, that is the active style, where you fight with different monsters and you capture them in the wild. You have equal opportunity to finish the monster there and take some other rewards instead. So we are trying to make sure that it's equally attractive for the player to capture the monster and to leave it there. And also, like in future, we will introduce death battles for player versus player, where your monster actually like dies if you lose the match.
Right, I see. I will probably try and not get my monster killed then, if that's the case.
Well, like it's gonna be, yeah. For example, the supply is limited, and that sounds to people like it's gonna create bad value. But the thing is, like, you can have infinite monsters. Yes, technically, theoretically, you could have, but why would you? It will not bring you anything positive, and it's gonna be overall not going to be worth for you to doing that. You're just gonna be looking for the quali, qual, quality side of everything. So, and like Ghosty said, there's gonna be different attributes, like a lot of different attributes. So you will probably go around trying to find that what you're looking for personally for you. So I don't think it's gonna create an issue. It, like, for example, when you put it on a white paper, it sounds bad to people, but when you play it in a game, it's not going to be bad for you. It's not going to be bad for the economy. Like, we also
Yeah,
have a mechanism in place to create a floor value to Defimons as well. So
yeah.
not going.
Essentially we are targeting. Infinite supply of common monsters was done to uh, create a lower entry into the game. We want everyone to be able to play the game. We want a lot of players to interact with each other, and that's why we the technologies that we are using. That's why we chose those technologies, because Phaser and all the JavaScript libraries, these help us be mobile first as well. So, like if someone wanted to play the game on their mobile phones, they do not need to install anything. They just need the MetaMask browser that they already used. They enter the website and they can just start playing there. And that's what we are targeting. We want to reach as many players as possible, and that's why we kept the supply infinite, because if the supply is limited, then this might cause the prices to rise a lot higher than expected, and that's not something we want for newer players. Because if you see with DFK or Axie, uh, a player has to spend at least $500 or $1,000 to enter the game, and that's not something we are targeting for our game. It's a game for the community, and at the end of the day, you want to enjoy. You do not want to feel that, hey, I spent $500 on this game, I have to extract at least $500 back.
I completely feel you in the sense that we don't want to create such a high barrier of entry for new players. We want something that's low and something that is able to accommodate everyone.
Mhm.
The next question is from RImon. How many monsters can a player carry on them at once? Is it a single Defimon that travels with the player, or a party of more?
It will be a party, and the numbers aren't decided. We are still, testing out, because like the battle system is currently in its initial stages. The screenshots that we shared on Twitter, they are literally like the first version of the battle system, and yeah, so these numbers haven't been decided, but it will be multiple monsters at once. You carry multiple monsters, and you can capture and like the wild monsters will have a similar level to your current monsters. So then there is a chance of a hard battle, but there will be chances of easier battles as well. It just depends upon your luck.
Yeah, I see. Okay, depending on luck. Yeah, well, I can see how that goes. Another question from Araimon is that in the picture in the thread that you sent, Kai was level 25, and I'm guessing he's asking about their evolutions. So similar to Pokemon, will they have evolutions?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I had to share the exact numbers, as I've said, all really early in development, the levels at which they mutate these aren't finalized. But I was planning at level 25 and level 50, and these monsters. So like the base monster has only one type. So, for example, if we look at Kahi, this was originally like lion, and we decided that we go towards more fiction style monsters. So the base monster is called Ignis, and it mutates to Kahi, and then it mutates to Manticore. And Ignis is kind of a land type, while Kahi has land type and fire type, and Manticore has land type and fire type. So that's how the evolution works. And at the end of the day, like you will be burning some amount of tokens for each evolution. So like when your Ignis mutates into a Kahi, then you burn some amount of Mon tokens, and that's how we are also trying to create a deflationary token. I think I revealed a lot of information.
I think that is very good information that will be shared in many places sooner or later. A question by Thraw, and I think this can be the last question of the day. Are your contracts currently audited, or will you get them audited?
Yes, so currently the contracts are not audited, but we plan to get each and every contract audited, like security and because a lot of funds are involved, and security is something that we believe is paramount, and we want to focus on getting our contracts audited as soon as they are finalized. That's something we have in our mind.
I see. And so that will be the end of the community questions. I've just got a few more questions from myself. Personally, like, what are you most excited for in, let's say, the coming month or coming week?
In the coming month, so in the coming week, I would say would be the battle system, and in the coming month, it would be the apartment builder, because like we will have, I think, the beta version for the apartment builder ready next month. So players probably will be able to drag and drop furniture into an example apartment, similar to how it did on Ethereum. So like we are following a similar roadmap to their project, and in the coming week, the battle system, because I'm currently working on it, and when I run it again and again, I feel a lot of I feel nostalgic, and we already have the music ready for the battle system. So I'm currently working on integrating that, and a lot of animations here and there, and that's something I'm really really excited about.
That's awesome to hear. It's always really refreshing to hear when the project lead is, excited about their own projects, because it really shows out the passion that's in for the project. What about you, Bini? Do you have anything that you're most excited for?
Yeah, like I said, I'm very for like I said 5-6 years. I've been also writing stories and like designing combats, making game mechanics. So I'm pretty excited about our story missions as well to add to Ghosties. I'm very excited about battles because like that's a really big hobby for me as well. I do I do battle design as a hobby too. So I'm really excited about battles as well as stories because we have a really, at the moment we just have one, but we're gonna have more. We have a really great writer, and like he's got really cool vision. We gathered up, basically did a 2 to 3 hours of meeting to design how the story side will go, how like different parallels, different forks of like stories. So I'm kind of quite excited about that. To add, like I said, battles and stories, like the content is gonna be very exciting for me. But I'm a nerd, so like I'm gonna write a fandom wiki as well. So I'm excited about that as well. So yeah, I'm kind of a nerd on those situations.
Wait,
How
you
about
write
you?
fandom wikis?
Yeah, sometimes. Like I said, I'm also a story writer for another game, so it's
Yeah.
kind of part of my day-to-day job. How about you, projects? What part of Dingos are you most excited about?
There's so many things I'm excited for. I'd say finally getting down the tokenomics and the game mechanics, like the overall game mechanics that we can share with the community, is definitely something that I'm really excited for. Probably do it by the end of next week. So that's something very exciting. And being able to play in the open world soon, having the character being finally finished rigging, I think we can show that off, is also going to be really exciting. So I think we can end there. Ghosty, do you have anything you want to say? Maybe something that, in the media may not come out as clear as in Word. If you want to share that, you can go ahead now. If not, we can close it off here.
Uh, like in terms of so as I've said, the mechanics of the game are really complex, and we are trying to share as much information as we can via Medium articles. Your sense of morality was the first article of the series, and we are working on multiple of these. One article would come out every week, and we will reveal some portion of the gameplay, some portion of the game economy, or things like crafting, things like apartment design, things like monsters taking within the apartments, and idle gameplay or active gameplay. And community members can feel free to reach out to us if anything is not clear regarding these articles. And because, as I've said, there can be mistakes in articles, and we are always open to answer any questions that any community members might have. We also have a Ask Me channel, and you can ask your questions there.
Awesome. I think we'll wrap it up here. Thank you, Ghosty, and thank you, Benelohim, for joining us today on this podcast.
Hey,
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no worries. And sure, we can always call you to come back in another time, and we can do an update or following AMA or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. And this was a great experience, and I would love to be back.
Yeah, no worries. I'd always be happy to have you guys back here again. Just for whoever is still listening, we're gonna have a Gartic trivia that's happening at the Gartic channel. So if you don't know what Gartic trivia is, it's basically Pictionary. The bot comes out with a image, and you have to guess what that image is. The first person to guess it gets a point. The top three will be awarded a pixel spot. So whoever places in the top three gets a pixel spot. The first place gets 501, the second place 251, and the third place 101. And if we get over level 50, there'll be a bonus rewards of dingos in there. So I'll see you Gartic trivia in 15 minutes. We'll do that in 15 minutes. I'll see you there. Also, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel because we need 100 subs to make a custom URL. Thank you, Kevin, for reminding me. That's where all the recorded AMAs will be going. So if you miss the AMA, just check it out on our YouTube channel. That's where you can see it. Thank you, Kevin, for linking it in the general chat. I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
I'm gonna close this now. See you, everybody.